Hi, nice to meet you. Have a seat.
Thank you.
And you can face me, and you're going to ignore them.
Okay.
First, thanks for coming.
Pleasure.
Before we start, have you got any particular reason why you're interested in coming for a session?
A couple of reasons. Curiosity.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about horizontal technique, and I wanted to get out of the house.
Two good reasons.
It's sunny.
Great reason. Anything that bothers? Anything posturally that bothers? Anything that hurts?
Certainly nothing that hurts, but posturally poor, certainly in the neck, I would say.
What do you sense in the neck?
Too far forward is the feedback I get.
Right. And what do you think?
I think it's true.
But you haven't seen it in a mirror, it's not like you can see yourself sideways.
No, but I mean sometimes when you get a reflection or an image somehow, it is a bit shocking how forward it is. It looks
Okay.
a bit uncomfortable.
But it doesn't cause any
discomfort.
strain, any tension. Anything else health-wise that is relevant perhaps?
No, high blood pressure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's what you mean.
Maybe there's a connection to patterns of stress. Yes, it could be. Yeah. All right. Let's start. So what's going to happen is I'm going to work with you, and the important thing to know from the beginning is that you can't do anything wrong.
Okay.
I'm the one that's on show. We're going to see how a teacher teaches the technique for the first time with a pupil that doesn't know anything.
Okay.
And you're just basically going to be there for those purposes. And I hope I'll be able to offer you a lesson that's interesting, and we'll see how we go as the session progresses.
Yeah, sounds like good.
Any questions that happen during the session, let me know.
Sure.
And as I said, the most important thing you have to know at this point is you can't make any errors.
Okay.
And you're in my hands.
Okay.
All right? So what you'll do is you'll start standing. Cool. And you can have a look out of the window that way.
Okay.
And come and stand in front of the stool. So you're going to be standing here. And that's it. And you'll start with your feet just a little bit wider apart. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more wide to start with. Okay. And as you know, I move you. The Alexander teacher is the mover. I'm going to move you. Sometimes I might ask you to do a movement. I might ask you to sit down. I might ask you to get out of the chair. Okay. But essentially, unless I request otherwise, I'll be the mover and you'll be letting me guide you into different places. So I spend quite a lot of time moving necks and backs. I might move your head. And in this particular instance, I'm not asking you to do any movement at all. I'm simply moving your head to the left and to the right, and maybe around in a circular motion. And you're doing just the best you can to let me do the movements without helping me. If anything feels a bit strange or uncomfortable, just let me know, okay? I'm not going to do any osteopathic clicks or anything like that. Okay, so I'm still just moving your head, and now I'm going to move you, simply rotating on your ankles. That's it. Lift out the arms now from the sides, but I'll do it for you. Not an easy thing actually to allow someone to do movements like this without participating, without helping me. That's it, exactly. And now what I want is that I'm going to do these simple everyday movements around the head and neck area. And now I'm going to leave my hands there and ask you to get yourself into the chair by taking your hips backwards as you bend the knees. Yeah, all the way to the stool. That's it. And then I'm going to leave you there. And I'm going to move your head again. And I'm going to move your head further down. tummy. A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. Just as a matter of interest, what does it feel like having the request that you do with your back? What shape do you think has just happened in your spine?
Good, great question. Well, I'm a bit confused as to whether it's bowed out or not.
Right, so it may feel a little bit bowed out.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, do we have the mirror here? We're going to get an external proof or evidence in a minute. Yeah, so that's really interesting. So, as you said, you're a bit confused because it feels like I've requested or guided you to a place where you're bowing out your little lower back. Is that fair? Okay, so I'm going to take this, my trusted assistant, I feel like a magician here, and if you look at yourself to the side, do you look like you feel?
No, it feels rod straight.
It looks rod straight and it feels
Bowed out.
bowed out, right. So then you have to have a choice. Which is more accurate, the mirror or the feeling?
The mirror, because I think the jumper is pretty tight. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have to accept that the mirror is going to be more accurate, and you're right about, yes, we can always check with the, yeah, that's absolutely flat against your back. But the feeling isn't giving you an accurate picture of what's really happening, which is one of the main principles of Alexander, which is that the feeling guides, the things that guide us into whether we're this way or this way, this way or this way, they're not always accurate. And they need to be kept on one side as you go through a process of learning something new. So can you, the question for you is right now, can you allow yourself to feel a bit odd or a little bit bowed out, knowing from the mirror that you're not bowed out, and go along with that for a while? Because instinctively most people will say, oh, I don't want to have a back like that, it would look terrible. I better straighten up, and then of course you know what you do then, don't you? You put huge amounts of tension into yourself. Now say you do that one, what do you think the neck has to do in order to compensate, otherwise you'd fall all on your back? Precisely. And you accentuate the very problem you've come in with. Yeah. Because if you're doing that, you have to rebalance, and it's the head that does it. So it'll actually help by not going back to what feels like the right thing to do. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So in a way you have to go through a period or a process over a number of sessions of feeling a bit wrong or not quite like you are, not your usual and familiar. So along with this feeling of feeling bowed out, feeling rounded, what's the overall quality like in you right now as you don't do this more straight version of yourself in feeling that you're not doing? What's it feel like being in this feeling of bowed out? What's it like in the whole of you now?
It's also a great question. I feel like there can still be a bit of tension in the upper back.
Yeah. So you can feel a sensation around here.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do anything about it. Again, we're not quite sure what sensations mean either. Sensation can mean more circulation, so you suddenly get more sensation. There can be sometimes sensations about things stretching out again. There can be sensations of things compressing. Again, sensations are just sensations. What we interpret is interesting, as you say. And also then we need to assess what the reality is. Now I'm going to move you forwards. Right, and stop. Let's move you back again. Stop. Going to move you forwards and stop. And now I'm going to move you backwards and stop. And forwards and stop. Yeah, that's it. And tell me if there's anything that starts to change around these sensations of this area, this area, this area, anything at all, even in the neck. I'm going to move you backwards, away is to gently stand up with your heels. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. What was it like coming out of a chair like that just then?
That was good.
What was good about it?
It was balanced.
You felt balanced.
So I didn't feel like I had to reposition.
You didn't have to reposition. Yeah. So it was you stayed in this unfamiliar place and got yourself out of the chair without having to rebalance.
Yeah.
Yeah. How easy was it?
Easy.
Easy.
Very easy.
And also, it's an interesting question. What easy means? What does it mean to you when you say easy?
So not having to move, not having to adjust the legs or the feet forwards or backwards.
Yeah. And then maintaining the whole thing without using a lot of unnecessary effort. Okay. Let me have the arm. That's it. Now, take the hips back and slowly bend the knees and leave me with your head. That's great. All the way to the stool this time. And stay there when you get there. Stop. Stand up again. And then bend the knees. And heels. And then bend the knees. And then heels. And bend the knees. And heels. And bend the knees. And heels. All the way up, stop. And what was going on there? What was that sequence like? 4 or 5 or 6 times in and out of a chair, and it's rather bizarre balancing.
It was quite relaxing.
Quite relaxing, yes. So do you feel your brain's in a different gear when you say the word relaxing?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's fine, and I'll move backwards. It's funny to think of a movement or the quality of it being relaxing, isn't it? It's not a normal way to talk about things. You take the arm, don't do anything. So I'm now just simply moving the legs in and out with free hips. I'm going to move your head again. I'm going to move you forwards, stop. I'm going to move you backwards, stop. I'm going to move you forward. So at the moment you can see I'm still the mover. Are you with that? You're not doing any of the movements. And now I'm going to move you here to the point where you could stand. Yeah. And without having to change any of the balancing, as you quite rightly put it before, all I want from you right now is simply stand up at the heels. Yeah. And what was the movement like there?
Very effortless.
Very effortless, yeah. Effortless. Not quite the same as what would happen normally in terms of regular everyday movement. But you probably wouldn't even notice your everyday movement. I think that's the
Probably not.
But what we do know is you registered that as something you called effortless. So something was kicking into your awareness, wasn't it? That actually that movement, because I didn't ask you anything in particular, I just said what was it like, and you said effortless, which is not the way you normally describe movement, is it?
No.
Now, take the hips back and bend the knees again. When you get to the stool, stop. And then stand up again. And then bend the knees again. Yeah. And heel. And then bend the knees again. That's it. And stop there. to move you a little bit further back now on the stool. Right there. And now further forwards. You mentioned blood pressure. Is your blood pressure connected to patterns of stress, or is it more a genetic thing?
I wish I knew. And you found that last year. It was very high.
You're taking medication to bring it under control. Moving forwards. Maybe further forwards and stop. Yeah. And then stand over the heels. Exactly that. Yeah. So you soft behind the knees. So in terms of your general overall mind and body condition, how would you describe yourself right now?
Right now? Relaxed.
Relaxed. Obviously more relaxed would be better for blood pressure, wouldn't it? Rather than more stressed. So one thing that you learn in Alexander is actually how to move back towards a condition of, you could say, a healthy relaxation. Not the relaxation of going to sleep, which is a bit more of a collapse, but more of a relaxation where you're still quite awake, aren't you? You're not halfway asleep. You're not relaxed as in, just pull the duvets over myself and go to sleep, are you? So what sort of relaxation are you in right now?
Yeah, very awake.
So you've got two things going on together. You've got relaxation and wakefulness, which often they're not associated together, are they? That's what I was trying to say.
Certainly not with me.
Not with most of us. Yeah. You're not alone on that one. Most of us are either hyper alert with plenty of coffee, wired, or we're relaxed and collapsed and halfway asleep. But the two together is healthy. If you think about it, those two things, the combination of real relaxation and alertness is an amazing mixture. Probably the healthiest mixture you can come across. And that is the combination or condition that we're here to help you recover. Because it's a natural condition, it's just rather rare. So now everything stays very quiet and easy in your neck and in your brain. Now take the hips back as you bend the knees. Yes, all the way to the stool. I'll take you back there and there. Fine. When was the last time you had this rather strange mixture of relaxation and alertness, do you think? Do you recall?
Probably in August, if that's not too specific.
That'll do. Like a holiday period.
Yeah, it was actually. I was on retreat.
Yeah. Sounds like a healthy retreat.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Let me take you further forwards to stop. So this is a way of learning to bring whatever it was in the retreat into everyday life, into everyday activity. So you don't have to take time out for it, but it can be time in as well. Let me take you further forwards and then stop. Don't change anything. I'll move you backwards and wait. I'll move you forwards again. So I'm just doing very simple movements with you, and at the same time maintaining the relaxation and the alertness. Are you with it? That's fine, and wait there. And still, you're not doing anything to jump out of relaxation and alertness. And now, stand up with the heels. Yeah. Any questions coming in?
No, so far so good. It could be because you're on that side for demonstration, but you seem to be moving my head a bit more to the left.
Yes, I am. I'm moving to the left to sort of take you away from symmetry. It's a good way to break certain habits. So if I take you away to the left, it's not your familiar. So I'm doing that quite a lot. To break an association from this is where I am into something that you don't really know so well. So often what I'll do with you is take you off your familiar balance into another familiar pattern. But it could equally be there or there. It doesn't really make any difference. You're right, at the moment mechanically it's easy for me to do certain movements than others. Yeah, that's it. But it could be anywhere that takes you off the familiar way of holding yourself. And that serves the purpose. Now, same thing now. Take the hips back and slowly bend the knees. Hold it there for a while. Yeah, and then wait there. Yeah, this is a skiing position. Or a tennis position. That's it. Bend the knees. All the way. And then hold it there. Wait. Heels. And then bend the knees. What's going on in the neck and back as you come in and out of the chair like this?
Also seems balanced, not straining at all.
Not straining at all, balanced. Yes.
It's all in the thighs.
It's all in the thighs. There's nothing going on, hips upwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an indicator of you maintaining relaxation and alertness. It's all in the legs, and you're not stressing out about it. So if you were stressing out about it, we'd see that in your neck and back. Does that make sense? Or your face and jaw.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel right now that nothing's happening, hips upwards, in your face, eyes, jaw, neck, back. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a strange experience, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's all in the legs. So as I said, that's an indicator of managing stress. Heels, bend the knees, and heels, yes, and bend the knees, heels. Now go for a little walk in that condition, so when going back again, quite quickly. Yeah. All the way back. What's it like to walk like that?
Fine, comfortable.
Comfortable, fine. Yeah. Would you say you were maintaining the relaxation and alertness pretty much?
Yes. I couldn't say whether I was maintaining a posture, but...
Posture is nothing to maintain in terms of shape, but the condition.
In terms of condition,
Yeah.
it's continuous.
Yeah, so lots of people think Alexander's about maintaining posture, but it's nothing to do with maintaining posture, because then you maintain posture, you become very, very rigid. But maintaining a condition, that's nice. If you can remain relaxed and alert in any position, whatever activity, whatever movement your body requires for a particular activity, then that's much, much healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand the difference between condition and posture? So we're interested in Alexander in promoting conditions of ease, relaxation, being awake, free, economical with effort, easy, all of that, but certainly nothing to do with shape or posture. So if you came in here with the idea that you're going to come to Anthony who's going to sort of get you to get your neck there and some straight idea of the neck being in a better position, that's nothing to do with what you're going to get here, all right? Sorry to disappoint you. But the neck will navigate back to its original design when you come off the habits of stress, tension, and history. Okay? So it's not saying that this area doesn't shift. Of course it shifts, but it's not something to stick. It's not a posture to learn, commit to memory, and then hold on to. Nothing to do with that. That's the old-fashioned posture training, which wouldn't do you any good at all. You could run with books over your head, on top of your head, to make sure you keep yourself straight. Or your head on a golden thread, pulling your head up into the heavens. That's nothing to do with what we do. Now, wait there for a while. And I'm going to walk with you a little bit, and then you're going to do some tingling. So walk around a little bit. Yeah. Straight ahead. Yeah. Yes. Good. Now what we'll do is we'll have you on the table for a little while. I'll give you a typical Alexander session, or untypical as the case may be. So take your shoes off and we'll have you on here. So get yourself in the middle of the table and the head's going to go on the balls.
Upright.
That's it. Perfect. I've got your head. So this is where we can deepen the relaxation and alertness and create you could say new pathways in the brain. You know the brain is plastic and elastic. It changes, it grows, it develops. It can reform itself. So the same thing as before, I lift up the leg and you give me permission to lift the leg without helping me. That's fine. So what you were experiencing sometimes on the retreat was basically you recovering what is basically natural for you, which is being in an easy, healthy, relaxed and alert condition. And for the lucky few, very few, that's what we navigate back to after a stressful event. But for most of us, the vast majority, we get stuck out of balance, out of sync, in places that are frozen or collapsed or braced. And the technique is a way of coming off those freeze patterns and to recover naturally this condition of ease and freedom. So I'm going to lift up this leg, don't help me. How easy is it right now to be relaxed and alert on the table? Does it feel pleasant? Is it? Yeah. You sense a shift in the back just then?
Yes, it's rather nice being stretched.
Yes, so the back stretched itself, didn't it? It probably felt like I was stretching the back. So basically what I did, I lifted it and the back said, yes, I want some stretch. And it stretched itself because I lifted it away from the table and it moved into some length and also some width. And it feels good, that, doesn't it? It's like there's more space in the back. You feel a different relationship between your back and the table. What's it? How would you describe that?
Well, it's probably a bit more in contact, but it just feels nicely stretched actually.
Naturally, yes, nicely or naturally stretched, and more in contact with the table. There's more gravity, more surface area is more in contact, yes, and not pulled away. So in stress patterns, you only have a part of the back in touch. You'd be sort of pulling yourself away from gravity, braced. But in this condition, there's that surface area which is saying hello to all the back, all the table. It's supported, yeah, that's right. So you're in a condition of being supported by gravity, by the surface of the table. And that's a different mental condition, if that makes sense to you. There's a different mental condition being supported in this way. Any other thoughts, queries, feedback?
Well, it's certainly more, I don't know how profound this is, but it's certainly more relaxing lying down.
It's easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, there's less demand on you, which is why lying down can be quite useful as well. But there's less responsibility, you could say. So it can deepen some of the work you were doing before. So as you said to me before, you were relaxed and it was easy sitting and standing, but this can deepen that. So what condition would you say your mind is now after? If there's also a longer period of time, you might have felt something similar if I'd done another quarter of an hour with you on the chair. We don't know. We don't know if it's just the table or whether it's just more time being worked with. But whatever, what would you say the condition of your brain is right now compared to half an hour ago? In terms of contrast.
Well, as you say, it could be time, but it feels more at ease.
At ease, yeah. More at ease now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to the setting.
Getting used to the setting, you're used to being in a rather strange place.
And being in the experience for a while is just getting easier.
It gets easier, yeah. And what condition of the brain does that promote? How would you describe the shift in the condition of your brain activity?
Contentment.
Contentment, that's an interesting word. Contentment, yeah. Like an inner happiness and peacefulness.
Actually.
Now, if I give you a leading question, what speed would you say your brain is in right now compared to half an hour ago? If you look at the tempo of brain activity.
Well, that's a hard one. I would say, coupled with feeling more at ease. I don't know. I feel quite alert still.
So awake,
Yeah.
and buzzy, less buzzy, active, busy,
Kind of buzzy, but not too active, not too distracted.
not too distracted, right? Not manic.
No.
So there's activity, but without distress.
Exactly. No real anxiety or
Right.
circular thoughts.
Not ruminating, and not,
ruminating.
yeah. Yes, a really important distinction that you understand the difference between relaxation that takes you into the dullness of the mind and the relaxation that maintains the active mind, that is alive and vital, but without the anxieties of rumination and could say over busyness. Over busy. It's not alive and active. Okay. I'm going to still move your head. Alright, now I'm going to take you off the table and we're going to move back again into more regular activity, not simply lying down, but maybe taking it into walking and then getting back into the stool.
Sure.
Alright, so I've got the leg, that's fine. What I think seems very obvious to you is that this isn't simply a physical shape thing, that somehow your brain's engaged, that you're feeling differently on a mental level and not simply on a posture level or sensation level. That's it, I've got all the way to your leg. And what's going to happen next is I'm going to guide you onto the left, and that leg is going to come over the side of the table, and that leg is going to fall over, and I'll get you sitting up on the table. Alright, but with a difference, I'm going to take the weight of your head where it's happening. So you roll over, that's it, feet over the side. And then use your hands and help yourself off the table. Perfect. Yeah, and now you can walk to the stool. And then stand in front of it as usual. Wait for a while. And now, all I want from you is to take your hips back as you bend the knees. Yeah, and wait there for a while. I've still got your head. You have a look out the window. Doesn't matter where your head is, there's no position to remember or to keep. Okay, that's fine too. Alright, so that's your first Alexander lesson. And you can
It certainly is.
yeah, you didn't have secret lessons before you came in. Okay, so that was really your first experience.
Full disclosure, yeah.
Absolutely, full disclosure. That's what I want. Okay, so here you are. You don't have to keep any position. You're here just to share and talk to me. But what's your experience now after?
Well, actually, it was quite pleasant getting up from the table. I had quite a nice tingling feeling.
Yeah.
What is my experience now? Well, I actually came with no preconceptions whatsoever, to be honest. So I'm feeling very relaxed. I hadn't, I knew nothing, so I thought it was more of a physical exercise.
A posture correction thing. Yes.
And that's very well. I hugely suffer from powering down, something I sit down. So sort of feeling asleep. So what you described is I really suffer from.
Yeah.
So it's welcome to be relaxed and not asleep.
I think that's the trick. A lot of us have all sorts of relaxation techniques which takes us paradoxically into relax, hunkering down and sleep. And that's nice for a little while, it's a bit of a break. But if you want to maintain something throughout your waking day, it can't be that one, because that will really screw up the postural mechanisms and the digestion and the breathing, all the other things. And when you have the combination of relaxation and alertness and the lift and the contentment that's going to go along with it, then that's quite a different way of maintaining yourself throughout an average day. And that's really what the technique is about, promoting a different condition as your main habitual way of being in the world, and not the sort of relaxy collapse or trying to fight it and have a good posture, because you're just going to swing like a pendulum from one to another, never finding the third way. So you could say this is the third way. Okay, good. Well, thanks so much for volunteering.
Pleasure.
And,
Wonderful experience.
good.